Hi, everyone. I am on the cruise still, but I wanted to jump on and just share a little about what you've experienced. I've never traveled by myself anywhere with my kids on vacation. But now being a single mom, I am determined life doesn't stop. So I decided to do it. And I wanted to share a little about the experience, especially with my youngest son, Daniel, who has Down syndrome and is also on the spectrum. He went through a lot of issues with regards to transitioning. He was terrified. It was a new environment. He does not really like being on a ship at the water. He really enjoyed the islands. He went through periods where it's like he would be happy, and then it's like he would just like flip and he would throw stuff. And um, but to be honest with you, even though it at times was stressful, I'm pretty sure it was more stressful for him. Um, he did pretty well compared to what I expected. His meltdowns that he had did not last that long. And eventually what happened is, he started to adjust and um, started making his needs known a little more. He's nonverbal, but he's able to say some words, but he's still classified as nonverbal. He made a lot of positive strides. Like I posted before, he actually initiated drinking from an open glass, which for any special needs parents, any milestones that your child make, it's huge. And it's like, it's a huge celebration. So that was one of it. Him he started imitating a lot of things that we were doing, which is huge with regards to him, even developmentally, as to where he's proceeding is in a good way. Especially with academics and effective comprehending and understanding. We did book our second cruise, family cruise for next year, where we'll be visiting some islands. I am thinking about getting Autism of the Sea to travel with us. And basically they provide respite care. If not, I would probably have his respite worker travel with us. I didn't get to do as much as I wanted to, but then again, that is okay with me. My main purpose of traveling with them was to make sure my kids enjoyed themselves, a much well-deserved vacation. But overall, my older kids did wonderful. They tried everything. They did everything. But overall, with Daniel, he did go through periods of stress. I went through a period of stress. This kid literally did not sleep probably for the first 3 days. And he was running on like 3 hours sleep. And when he slept, I had to sleep. And it was like 7 a.m. He would be sleeping and he'll wake back up 10, 11. And all night he was up. I think he was also very sensitive to the boat and to the ocean. While we were traveling, because once we were off the cruise, he self-adjusted and he was fine. While he was while we were in the water in Bahamas and Coco Cay, he also adjusted really well, followed instructions. He understood basically everything I was saying. And, it was all about safety that I was teaching him. So I would do it again. But I just want to let other parents know, it can be stressful traveling with our children who have special needs, but sometimes as parents, it's important to make that sacrifice just to allow your children to still experience life and experience traveling, experience vacation. I'm not sure how other parents and their kids do, but I do know that with regards to Daniel, he does really well on vacations. And like I said, he made a lot of positive strides while we were here, a lot of new things that he's doing. And he really enjoyed jazz music. He was dancing to the calypso music. There was a specific deck on the cruise. We're actually still on. There's a specific deck that he really enjoyed. Surprisingly, he doesn't like much noise, but he really enjoyed that deck because of the different cultural music I believe was playing, because he was dancing and he was singing in his own way. And overall, he had a really good time. I do know that once he's back, he is going to catch up on sleep because, like I said, he did not really sleep on here. which I'm pretty sure had something to do with his adjusting. And I'm pretty sure that also contributed a lot to his outbursts of his meltdowns. But like I said, the meltdowns and the transitioning, and transition is used for children who are on the spectrum. They really struggle with transitioning. He adjusted well. I think the other thing is we had a specialized chair made for him with special seatbelts. So even when, I don't know if you're familiar with kids on the spectrum, they tend to drop on the floor. It's just like a standard behavior. Well, at least I see it with him, and I hear it from other parents. But he tends to drop on the floor, or he'll tend to sometimes want to swing at you. And but sometimes when he's swinging, he thinks it's funny when it's really not funny. So it's about teaching boundaries and giving that structure. But the chair really came in handy because when he was having his meltdowns, we would put him in a chair and we would put the seatbelts on him. At times when he felt the need that it was funny to, swing his foot at someone, we were able to utilize the foot strap on his sneakers with surprisingly the compression, because he's very sensory, and he loved the compression. He actually thought it was funny. So it's like he would go day and night sometimes with trying to act out to laughing. I'm sorry, I got cut off in the last video. What I was saying is that he goes from acting out to laughing to acting out. But, overall, like I said, just to wrap it up, he did pretty well. He probably had about maybe 3 meltdowns. The meltdowns did not last more than probably a minute or two. And when I say meltdowns, he does not cry. It's kind of like, I'm going to provoke you and swing at you or throw a glass. And so that's what Daniel's meltdown looks like. Or he'll sit on the floor and just not move, or he'll take his shirt and pull it over his head, kind of thing. So that's what it was like. But overall, we're wrapping up now. We're actually heading back home, and each one of us are actually pretty excited to go home for our own personal reasons. I'm sorry, but there's nothing like home. Vacation is great. Anyway, we're looking forward to our next vacation as a family. And I hope this is helpful, and I hope it encourages people, who do have a child on a spectrum of special needs, that it shouldn't necessarily hinder you from exploring and enjoying life and having your child enjoy. Have a great day, and thank you guys for listening. Take care. Bye.